Hey everyone, I'm here with Ben. And Ben, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, my name is Ben. I'm what's called a director of tennis, and yep. So it's an interesting job, interesting journey how I got here. But excited to be here. Vanessa, I've been watching a lot of your episodes. They're really a blessing me, and I know they're going to be a blessing to uh, the kids as well.
Well, thank
Young
you for
adults,
saying that.
sorry, I know they don't like being called kids.
Young adults, well, kids, teenagers, young adults,
Yes,
anyone really, it's for. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you're watching. So you said a director of tennis.
sure.
And so what does that mean? And how did you get into that?
Yeah, so director of tennis, that just means I'm over all tennis activities. And to put it like very easily, I teach tennis for a living. I help anybody from college, high school, middle school, 60-year-old, but probably my passion and kind of where my I guess niche would lie is in high school players getting college scholarships to play tennis and really helping them take it to the next level. So it's yeah, I worked in sales for forever. One of the best advice I ever got on careers was from my grandpa, and he said that you try things until you find something you like, but finding a job is a lot of trying things out and like, hey, I don't like that thing at all. I want to try something else. So got a 4-year degree, thought that was the answer to everything, and it's like, oh, I can make a better living and actually enjoy what I do every day. So blessed.
Okay. So as a director of tennis, do you work under an organization?
Yeah, so it's weird. So most director of tennis they work for either like a country club or a organization or I'm employed by the country club and I'm
Okay.
also self-employed.
Okay.
So the way they set up is the club or organization will usually give you a benefits package, and then you're kind of own your own, run your own shop, sell tennis rackets, sell shoes, do all that, teach tennis lessons. But yeah, the bulk of what I do is teaching, and yeah,
Okay. So you do private lessons?
yes, yes,
Okay,
I do
private
do
lessons.
private lessons. I also do work for high schools. In our area, we have 5 high schools and a few private schools. So, I do work with those guys as well. Yeah.
Um, do you have a normal day? Is there such thing as a normal day for you?
Yeah,
What does a
yeah,
normal day look
for
like?
sure. Yeah, yeah, no, there is definitely. I feel like my whole life is appointments, where got this, got that. But the beautiful thing about being a director of tennis is it's a blessing and a curse if you're not organized because you can schedule as many as you like. A lot of times you can work as much as you want, or you can kind of uh, you know get off a little bit earlier in the afternoon if you want. But yeah, so I guess a normal day, depending on the day, would be come in, teach a few lessons in the morning, get a lunch break, and then during the school year, kids get out of school around 3. So I usually have a gap between 1 and 3, and I usually use that for planning or other things like that.
So then do you work later usually in a
Yeah, yeah.
day because of
So,
that?
the beautiful thing about my schedule is really there's divided into seasons as the summer season. We do camps and stuff for little kids, and usually I'm done a lot sooner. I call that my early morning shift from about uh, late May to early August. It's more camps based, get it off a lot earlier, but then August to May is a little bit my graveyard shift where I work till 8 o'clock at night, and sometimes on Wednesdays for church and different things like that, I'll get off a little bit earlier.
Okay. So what kind of a person would be good at this kind of work?
Well, they need to have a passion for tennis. It's definitely like there's a licensing organization called the USPTA, where in this through USTA and a lot of different things where think about it like you're getting a start to become an electrician or a plumber you have to go through kind of like tennis school and what helps is having a background either as a high level high school player or a high level college player But I mean, you got to know what you're talking about. You can't tell somebody how to hit a serve and never hit a serve. So it's one of those things where you definitely want to be passionate for the game. You want to have an athletic background, but it would be more tennis specific. So
Okay. You live in Mississippi, so you have
yes,
pretty good weather year
yes,
round to be outside, um,
yes. It's
coaching
hot.
or yeah, doing lessons.
Yeah, if you don't know the Lord, you may end up in some temperature a little bit hotter than this, but it gets pretty hot.
It gets hot also.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not ideal all year round, but you can play through the
Oh
winter.
yes, no
The
doubt, no
summer
doubt.
is for sure not as fun. And that's probably good because during that season you can get it done earlier in the day,
Sure.
like you were
Yeah.
saying. Okay. So then did you play okay, first of all, what does USPTA stand for?
United States professional tennis professionals. Mm, yeah, so it's per like a organized teaching professional organization. So it's like a sort of then there's something called PTR, professional tennis registry. There's different ways you can get certified to teach. And think about like it's an organization like if somebody's going to be a certified lifeguard, that's kind of the certification organization. And I happened to go through USPTA to get my certification. I don't remember how many years ago, but it's been a little while.
Okay.
Got some gray
Um,
now. So
so it's been a while.
yes.
Been
Yes.
been teaching. Um, did you play
Yes.
tennis in high school and college?
Y- Yeah, yep. So came to the game really like I played didn't start playing tennis until I was 18 years old. But I played basketball. I battled a height problem, I'll say. The thing about it was, if you're not super fast and all that, it just wasn't for me. I'm not blessed like some people are with the height. So fell in love with tennis. One of my best friend's dad was a tennis instructor, and my dad told me, give me an ultimatum, which was either pick you a sport or pick you a job. You got to figure it out. So I picked tennis, fell in love with it. Played 4 hours every day, and I was blessed to get a college scholarship at a community college. Played there 2 years, and just really, really loved it, improved, and got after it. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
there was some experience there. Yes,
So that was in high school that your dad said either get a job or play a sport?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then playing a sport ended up turning into a job. So
Yeah.
that's it.
It worked out. His recommendation was a
Yes.
good recommendation because it led to your career.
Yes.
So, um, what skills matter most for someone who wants to be a coach?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you need to be motivated, and look at every kid or every adult or every as an opportunity to impart things that you've learned and things that you're developing. And I've seen a lot of different coaches with a lot of different approaches, and there's not a cookie cutter, but one thing that I found the most successful is they're people. They really enjoy being around people. They enjoy talking with people. Nobody really enjoys a coach who's on their phone the whole time. And yeah, they might have been top ranked player in the state, but if they're a douchebag, nobody really wants to take a lesson from them.
Yeah.
So just being nice and loving people. That's and then loving what you do and being passionate about it. So, like interpersonal skills, you definitely need some tennis specific skills, but just people skills as well, like treating people how you'd want to be treated as well.
And I think you mentioned earlier too, organization because you're scheduling
Yes, yeah,
different
yes.
appointments.
Yes, you're controlled by the calendar and your appointments, but it's up to you to schedule. I see a lot of younger people coming in and they'll double book and that can cause some issues with the parents and people who are coming. Oh man, you got three people showing up for the same time. It's not a good look, but it like everything, it can be developed, and if you're organized, and I'm not the most organized person. You can ask my wife, but I'm motivated. So
That's good. And you have the heart for it, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
helpful
yeah,
too.
for sure.
And you're kind. Um, so did you again, it's like you're talking and I listen and then it goes,
You're
um
doing great.
anyway, so what's one surprising thing about, your tennis business?
I would think that a lot of time people will kind of look at it as okay, well, you're just out there playing tennis all day, and they don't really realize that you can make a good living doing it. Like I said, I got a 4 year degree, and I thought that was the answer. Worked a sales job for a very long time, and then I realized after I started investigating the job, and I taught some kind of on the side, but that you can make a really good living doing this. Director of tennis, you can Google it. They do pretty well
Okay. Yes,
because I mean,
that's awesome.
average lesson price for a tennis pro ranges anywhere from $50 to $100 an hour in the South, and then in bigger places, California, New York. I mean, you're looking at 150 to $200 an hour
Okay,
for a lesson.
nice. So then since you're working with, like you had touched on basketball and said that you love basketball, so, that's not necessarily something that you see at a country club, so are there other
Yeah.
at your country club, are there other instructors or, directors of other sports with that if kids aren't necessarily
Oh,
interested in tennis?
yeah, there's golf. Your bigger facilities will have weight training and calisthenics and different things like that. Some of the bigger ones in Florida will actually have like physical therapy at their facilities, and there's a lot of different ways. And then with tennis, I'm a director of tennis at a country club, but that does there's also director of tennis at a YMCA or a public city. There's some public courts, just up the road from me, and there's director of tennis there. So it's really depends on what your goals are with that, and then there's pros and cons to each of those. Yeah, there's country club setting depending on where you're at. There is areas of other employment.
Okay. Other sports that are available other
Yes,
than just tennis, but that's good
yes,
to know too that there's also not just the country club route, but the
right,
YMCA or
sure.
other public. Okay. That's good. So did you talked about your degree, but did you need a degree for this,
So
job?
to get into the game, oh, you don't, and by game I mean like certified and teaching.
Mhm.
I didn't need it at 23 years old to do that. For a director of tennis, most jobs recommend it, but it's not required.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. If you work and you got some experience and you've done it for long enough, then you can kind of get into that position. But kind of the hierarchy of that, you'll start out as just a basic teaching professional, and then you can move up to an assistant professional, and then maybe a head professional, and then maybe a director of tennis. So there's kind of a hierarchy there. But a degree is not required, but it is recommended for my position.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense though, but you can get in, get your foot in the
Yes,
door and
yes,
work your way up as well.
and I know several director of tennis here in the state of Mississippi who, I'd say it's about 60-40 split
Okay.
on that. Like 60% have degrees, the other 40 do not. They just kind of, you know, just have a lot of experience. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And if you're passionate about it, I'm sure
yeah,
that
absolutely.
that helps.
No doubt.
Yeah. So what did you get your degree in, if I can ask?
Yeah. So mine is, I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. So I was like, man, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just going to try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that. And then I said, is there a way we can just throw all this together, all these different, my confusion and not knowing. So I have a degree in interdisciplinary studies. And what
Okay.
that means is I didn't know what I was doing, and we just threw a bunch of credit hours together to get me a degree. I'm kidding, but I have a focus in business, marketing, and religious studies. So that's kind
Okay.
of the cores of that degree. But business focus, marketing focus, and
Which
a lot of
helped,
school. Yeah. Oh, for sure, no doubt,
which which
no doubt.
definitely helped with then marketing yourself as a
And the thing about a interdisciplinary studies degree is, you can kind of, yeah, you can teach with it, you can do a sales job with it. And I'm not trying to sound any kind of way, but like, if you have an accounting degree, they're probably not going to be like, okay, let's get you out here to teach some tennis.
right.
But if uh, you know, interdisciplinary, you can go business, you can go. It's broad. It is spread thin. That is, I guess, the downside of it is if you're trying to go. If you know, I always tell people like that ask a question about that degree. It's like if you know what you're doing, you want to do, go for that. If you know I want to be an accountant, a doctor, whatever, go after that. But if you're kind of like, hey, I know I'm going to need a degree eventually, but I don't really know what. So that was my route. And I did that through Liberty University,
Okay.
online. Part of I got my 2-year degree from a community college, and then got some hours from a Christian William Carey
Okay.
University, and then transferred those credits to Liberty and finished online. So
Nice.
a lot of
Good.
different ways to go at it.
Yeah, that's good. Um, I know our daughter was she knew what she wanted to do, but she had an opportunity to get a minor as well, and I
Mm,
said, "Let's get a minor in business because
yes,
like
yes,
that covers
everything's
so
business.
many areas."
Yes,
Yeah,
everything's business. Yes,
yeah. So, might as well have some skills in that, so,
yes.
um, and so then what did you wanna be when you were growing up?
Well, you know, every kid when they're little wants to be. I say that, the kids are. I mean, I sound like I'm 85 years old. The kids these days, no. But most people, in my age, well, they always want to be like a professional athlete, or
Yeah.
they always wanted to play in the NBA or NFL, and it's just like, how small of a percentage that is, and I have to have
Yeah.
a tough conversation with parents a lot of times whenever the kid's like 16 or 17 years old and they're wanting to be on TV and you know, that's not where they're at, and so it's for me when I wanted to grow up, that's what I wanted to do, and then as I started at 16, 17, 18, it was like, all right, well, I love people, I love being around people. I thought I wanted to go into real estate. I thought I wanted to be a businessman. I thought I wanted to do these things, and I tried a lot of different things, and and enjoyed a lot of them. Gained experience from everything. I guess that would be my advice to anybody who's watching this is like, don't be, so worried about having it all figured out at one time. I never had it figured out. Still don't have it figured out, but I'm always learning. And I always feel like, it's never a loss if you learn something. So, a lot of things is just, hey, we're all on a journey. Everybody's at a different pace, and don't compare what your
Right.
journey looks like to somebody else's.
Yeah. I think that a lot of kids I know I feel like my kids did. It feels like you have to figure out,
Yeah,
like, at 18, what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, and so many people change, like, they think, "Oh, this is the path I'm gonna take," and then they pivot, and so it just that's overwhelming, I think, to think that I have to know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life right now, and that's really not the
there's not
reality.
a
I
lot of
don't know.
freedom in that.
No. And I don't really know anybody
Yeah,
who's okay, one person, the lady that I interviewed before you who was a flight attendant, she knew from early on that she wanted to be but that's more rare, that's like most people don't know what they wanna do, or they think they know what they wanna do and
sure.
then get into college or like you, they get some schooling in there and then they start trying different jobs and I've had so many different jobs. I still don't know what I wanna be when I grow up, but I've had so many different jobs and, I've loved them and I've learned from a ton of them.
Yes.
and enjoyed them. But yeah, to say this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, I don't know.
Right.
So,
Right.
still don't know.
Yes. No, it's I think people try to make it like calculus when it's really like, nah, it's and we'll maybe get into this in the at part two of the interview, but yeah, I definitely believe if you just focus on what you the things that are important, life has a tendency to work itself out.
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of maybe touched on this because you were saying that you would just tell people to go out there and experience things. But what advice would you give teenagers or your 16-year-old self?
What are you passionate about? What gets you excited? What gets you fired up? What do you enjoy? Are you whenever you're in a friend group, what are your interactions like? Are you loud? Are you kind of more reserved? Are you you know God has designed each and every one of us differently with a different wiring, and figuring out what his I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get on here and preach or whatever, but anyway, it's just what your passion is, and you may not know what that is, but do you like to talk? Are you a shy person? And that changes year to year, but kind of figuring out what you like. But my advice is to my 16-year-old self would be, hey, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to uh make some failures. You're going to have some losses, but none of those are actually failures or losses if you learn from it, if you
Right.
grow from it, and if you glean from it. Then you'll continue to move upward. And then to me, a lot of times pain and going through different things, no pain no gain. And it's I'll tell my 16-year-old self, chill out, it's going to work out. You just calm down and enjoy your life, love your life, thank God for your life, and He's gonna do something with it.
Yeah. That's good advice. Like I said, I feel like there is a lot of pressure and you feel like you have to have it figured out, and that's not true.
Yeah.
We don't have it figured out. Um, and also you said something about your next interview, so we might we'll be bringing Ben back on his other job that he's that's kind of a new profession, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that, yeah, yeah. I'm also a bivocational pastor. I work a full time job here, and then I'm also a full time pastor as well. But it's a lot of time. But yeah. But hey, kind of the uh, what are you passionate about? Kind of leads into that. I love tennis. I love working with people, and I love preaching the gospel. So
Yeah. You also said that, you've had failures or, different
yeah,
life lessons, and I think what you said was great because it's only a failure if you just stop there and you don't learn anything from it. If you learn and you move on, then it's a lesson and it's something that grows you in one way or another, so
right. Well, and people got to realize too that failure is an event, not a person, and nobody's ever a failure. And unless you actually are like, hey, no, unless you come into agreement with that, no, you're not a failure. You're not.
Right,
That's just something that happened one time. Um,
right. Alright. The last question I have for you is if someone wanted to maybe you've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but if someone wanted to explore a career in tennis, um, and, not necessarily the director of tennis, but even just doing lessons, where would you point them?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in modeling and not like like taking pictures or whatever. No, I'm talking about, but like finding somebody in yeah, find somebody in your local area. There's you can Google tennis lessons near me, and you can find that, and you're welcome to go to that facility. Well, most facilities anyway, and you can go there and typically, you can find an instructor and ask them how they got into it, and they may honestly be looking for somebody to hire. I had
Right,
a guy come literally in my office one time and say, "Hey, are y'all hiring?" and I hired him pretty much on the spot just because I was
Okay.
in need for somebody. I asked his background and all that. Then there's a website called USTA.com. Um,
Okay.
that's United States Tennis Association, and they have a whole link of you can get on there and you can go do the little drop down deal, and they got it in the states that you're at. Tennis lessons near me, and then it also has like a little thing for career paths on there as
Okay.
well.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I'll put that in the description box, but
Yeah.
that I mean, I imagine that as a teenager, it would be a good place to start to even get
Yes.
into the country club and just start
Oh,
working
yeah.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have under me, I have four. I'm probably going to miss some of them, maybe five now. High
Okay.
school employees that work for me, and then I have you know, three different ones that are range from that they're college students, but they're also certified to teach tennis, and they're doing that as their uh, working on their degree. So, one of them may have plans to eventually be a director of tennis. The other one's going into computer programming, but he played a high level in college, and so there's jobs in this profession. You can work with summer camps. You can do that's always a good foot in the door. Say, hey, do y'all need some help with the summer? And more than likely they do. I'm going to go
Or
ahead
you
and
need it.
tennis professionals. We need a lot of help.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Great way to get your foot in the door. Great way to see if you even enjoy it.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
not just I mean, if you love tennis doesn't necessarily mean that you love coaching it or working with
Yes,
kids and stuff. So
right.
it's a great way to see if that would be a good fit for you. So
Yes, no doubt.
that's awesome. So okay, one more question. I lied. What was your first job?
So I worked for my dad. He owned his own business, steel fabrication business,
Okay.
and I was out there trying to learn how to weld and do what's called grinding and had a wire brush. I was a gopher, go do this, go do that. He'd have me out there bush hogging and all these different things, getting paid minimum wage, and I just didn't enjoy it. Now, later in life, I came to really wish I would have dialed in and learned some of that. But once again, it was one of those things. Hey, this not really what I want to do, and so that was my job when I was young. And then I've worked a lot of different. I've been worked in the cell phone industry. Was an assistant manager there. Worked there for 6 years. Worked at a community college in a marketing department. And uh, different things. Worked a
Yeah.
sales job. Um, so
It's a different lots of different jobs that brought you
y-
around to this
yes,
one.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And learn
And like
something from all of them. Yeah.
yeah. And like you said, you found what you were passionate about, so you love what you do
Yes,
on both
for sure.
jobs.
Yeah. I have a lot of jobs.
Well, thank you, Ben, for
Yeah.
sharing with us today, and I hope you I mean, I know you inspired some kids out there who enjoy sports and, not everyone gets to go and be a pro athlete, so but you can still if
Yes.
you love a sport, there's still different ways to work in that industry and
Yes.
enjoy your job, so
No doubt.
thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Love what you do, Vanessa. It's really cool, and it's amazing. I appreciate you.
Thank you.